Hey everyone, this is Mike,
Hey, and this is Josh.
and we are real dead. And
Yep.
are we real disappointed or not?
I know.
Stick around, and we'll tell you.
So, yeah, we seen Alien Romulus, right, Mike?
Yes,
So this movie I was very excited for. I don't know if this is how you want to go, but I was very excited for this movie. Anticipation. I'm really into the Alien franchise. I always have been. Aliens is a movie that I grew up watching. Um, so, Mike, were you excited for this movie?
I was excited for the movie for the trailers. I'm kind of the opposite of you, Josh, where I'm an old school guy. I like the first couple that came out, but I never watched from three on. I watched the Alien and then Aliens, and I kind of just over time kind of gave up on the science fiction part of it. So I since went back, and you know this, and watched a couple movies going into this. So I think I was caught up enough to catch some of the Easter eggs and stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. So,
So
how our this is our non-spoiler section,
right,
obviously. So I want to keep this short for me, non-spoiler, because there's a lot of spoilers to talk about. But we're gonna go through this. I'm gonna say I like the movie. I think it was really well made. A lot of love and care, and a person that is a fan of the Alien franchise made this movie, and you can tell, and it comes through, and that's a great part of this movie. The acting was pretty good. I think two of the actors stood out above the rest, in my opinion, and that was the main actress. I think she played a character named Rain, and then the guy that played Andy. Those two actors were phenomenal in this movie. I thought they were really good. Um, the aliens were great. The aliens looked great in this movie because I think they took time and they did a lot of practical effects and not just CGI. And I thought it looked great. Um, and yeah, what's his name?
Fede
Ted.
Alvarez is the
Yes,
director. Kaylee Spaney played Rain.
yes,
David Johnson played Andy, and then Archie Renew played Tyler. Isabella
yep,
Merced played Kay, and then Spike Fern played Bourne.
yep.
And then Aylin Wu played Navarro.
Yeah,
Navarro.
like I said, I thought the cast was okay, um, and I liked that they were kind of like young and they didn't know. They didn't know a lot. It's not they just didn't know a lot because they're just younger, and I thought that was cool. Um, yeah, I really liked this movie, and that's what I'll say. I'll give my rating real quick, Mike, before you get into it. I
Okay.
gave this movie an 8 out of 10 for me. Personally, for me, I gave it an 8 out of 10, and it's in my top three horror movies of this year.
So yeah, real quick, Rotten Tomatoes is 81 and 86. The audience thinks it's 86. So that's your 8 out of 10 is right in line with what the audience says. I thought this movie, as you mentioned, the throwbacks and stuff in the movie is great. I'm not going to mention any of that because this is the non-spoiler part. I thought the sound was awesome. We watched this in IMAX. I'd heard some issues. People were saying they had some issues with the sound in the first act. And Josh, did you have any issues with the sound?
No, I thought maybe a couple of parts when they were in the first act, like you said, it was maybe like one of the actors was a little soft spoken, so it was a little
Mhm.
hard to hear because there's like background noise and all this. But I didn't think it was a huge issue. But I did also
Yeah.
see people mention that, like you're saying, Mike.
Yeah, we saw in IMAX. The sound was outstanding. The lighting of this movie is great. It's dark, and then it's got a lot of explosions and stuff that kind of light up the screen as well. The shots that Fede Alvarez that he took, I thought was great. You know, some of the scenes from it. The acting was good. The two main characters, like you said, um, the character Andy and Rain, the
Yeah,
actors that play them did a great job. The acting was, I've heard people say they were a little worried about the young actors on here, but I thought they did a good job.
yeah,
Um, for me, I'm not as big a Alien fan as Josh. Me and my wife went and saw it. A lot of, in my opinion, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but there's a lot of jerking of my arm by my wife. Let me just leave it at that throughout the movie. And we both thought it was enjoyable. I would give it a 7 out of 10. So still a really good, strong movie in my opinion. And can't wait to get into some of the spoilers next.
Yep. So I think we should jump right into them, Mike. Let's go.
All right.
Spoilers, guys. These spoilers are we're gonna talk about it all. So spoilers, so you know. Now let's get into this, Mike. You gave it a 7 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10. One of the problems that I had with the movie was I didn't ever really had any problems with it, to be honest. I know you did. I didn't have problems with any of the dialogue or anything. I know some people didn't like some of the callbacks that they had, like what did he say? Don't touch her, you bitch, or leave her alone, you bitch, or something. Andy did. I can't remember, or leave her alone. I can't remember the exact words. I should.
Right.
I just watched Aliens, but it's from Aliens. But I can't remember what and it was Sigourney Weaver said it. But people didn't like that. They thought that was a little forced, that part.
Let's talk about, since we're getting into spoilers now, kind of tell the story background, Josh. I mean, so people,
okay.
You know, if you're seeing this, and you've already probably seen it if you're watching spoilers, but still we can talk about kind of the story outline of it.
Okay, so it's these younger kids. I'd say maybe like 20, 21, something like that. I mean, young, and which I like. I like that that's a young cast. That's something different that I can't really remember if any of the Alien movies really had that, to be honest. Everybody's like grizzled usually. They're like in their 30s and 40s. It's not usually a young cast. So they want to get – so they're on a planet, and they want to get off this planet. It's like a mining planet, and everybody works for – so another – that's always been a big corporation in the Alien universe is Weyland-Yutani. And Weyland-Yutani owns this planet, having people mine in the mines for whatever. I don't know what they're doing. But basically, if you live here, you're working for Weyland-Yutani, and you're stuck here. Like you're just stuck here working. Like that's what it is. And it doesn't have any sunlight. No sunlight can reach this planet. It's too far away. Right. It's too far away from the sun. And so it's just dark and dingy. And so they want to get off this planet. They want to go and do what they want to do. Well, they are monitoring the space, the in the universe, and they see that there's this abandoned Weyland-Yutani ship up there. Now, what I forgot to say is at the very beginning, you see a rock floating by, like a big rock or whatever, in this space station. Brings it in and captures it. They cut it in half with a laser, and then you see that there's an alien inside. And when I saw that, I knew exactly what that was. I knew that was from the alien from the first movie. Did you know that, Mike?
I didn't know it, but I saw the outline of it. I kind of figured it was either one or
right, when she shot it out into outer space.
Yeah,
that's what that is. It just over time collected all those fragments and stuff around it and kind of made it like a cocoon. And so you see that. And so, Weyland-Yutani's always into doing, like, playing God and, like, wanting to create life and all this other kinds of stuff. And they like a perfect organism. That's what a lot of these movies are about. Not all of them, but some of them are about, like, especially Prometheus and Alien Covenant. It's about creating a perfect organism and stuff. And that's what kind of this movie leans into that as well. But then let's fast forward to when they go up to the space station, and they need to get enough
Romulus. That's the name. The name of the movie is Romulus.
Right. The ship's called Romulus, and their cryo chambers don't have enough stuff so they can be, because it takes 9 years to get where they're going. 9 years, but they only have enough in the cryo chambers for like 2.5 of sleep. So they have to go around the ship trying to find more to recharge these things or whatever they do. Well, and that's when chaos ensues, right, Mike? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so the whole time the mission is to get this fuel to be able to, so they can survive and make it to this other place that has daylight. And they don't have. Another thing is they were being kept on this planet to mine, even though they'd worked their hours up and was ready to leave, they wouldn't let them leave.
Right.
They were kind of being held down by the corporation and making them work for nothing. The android in this one at the beginning is Andy.
You learn
Great,
that
great.
very early on. They don't try
Yeah.
to hide it.
No, right. Early on, you see that, and he kind of stutters and talks a little funny. But the girl, the main character, Rain's dad had him and fixed him, and it was kind of like their family brother. She calls him her brother. So yeah. Now my issue early on this, I know Josh, you said you didn't have an issue of it, and you hadn't heard anybody else had an issue with it. This is just one of my little issues with this movie at the beginning was and again, it's not a deal breaker. I just want to tell you my opinion on it. But how these young people in their late teens, early 20s, whatever age they are, they want to leave this island, yet they're held down by kind of oppression in this company, making them work in the mines. They've lost family members in the mines and they want to leave here. And they just go get in a spaceship and just leave. I mean, and nobody tries to stop them or anything. You're like, well, shit, if they could do this then, why isn't somebody else done this a long time ago? I mean, it just, in my opinion, it was a little far fetched. I was like, dang,
I think what the thing is, Mike, is the ships and the capabilities that they have, they can't go far anyway. So like they couldn't leave in the ship that they have. It's not like they could go to another planet, Mike. It's too far away.
Right.
So like that's why they're not worried about it. They'll just be lost in space if they try. I think that's kind of like what you were supposed to understand, that they don't have the capabilities. The ship they had, they couldn't go. That's why they needed this other stuff. I think that's what I think that's why I didn't have a problem with it.
Right. I mean, these guys can't even drive a car. How are they going to drive a spaceship?
I don't know.
I don't know. It was just something small for me.
Okay.
So go ahead and let's kind of talk about the rest of the storyline, and then we can kind of go back to some details.
The face hugger, to me, the face huggers are awesome in this movie. I know a lot of them are practical. They also use CGI, obviously, but yeah, I loved the face huggers in this. I thought they really shined in this movie. And like, there was only one person that had a face hugger on them, and they had a chest burster, which was a really cool scene. You saw it in the trailer where she showed an X-ray. That was actually something that I've never seen, which was really cool. But I thought, like, we didn't need a bunch of face huggers and chest bursts, because this movie worked without all that. Like, the one was cool, but the place you already knew was already over rampant with aliens, because the people that lived there already were turned into aliens. I mean, they just were. So there was already aliens on this ship when the people got on. They didn't know that, though. They were living they lived down in the depths of the ship and different things. So I thought that was cool. The aliens look great. The practical effects of the aliens.
What about like the X-ray thing when the girl did her arm and then you notice the stamp for the company?
Yeah.
W.
Yep.
The W on it.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought that was all cool. I really liked, like when they showed the alien like in a cocoon. I thought that was cool, because like I never really saw that. Like, because like when you see an alien, you see it little, and then you see it fully grown later. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you don't know what really happens to it.
Right. They kind of showed the step, which I thought was cool. Also, man, the one brother had acid just burn him up, and that was crazy. That would be horrible, Mike.
So this is definitely, and if you watched other reviews on this, I'm sure you have. If you're probably just watching ours because you're searching on YouTube, or maybe you're subbed to our channel. But this really was a love letter, in my opinion, from Fede Alvarez to all the other past directors, because you got Ridley Scott, who helped on it here as well, but they take some movies from Aliens, Prometheus, Covenant.
Yep.
And he kind of puts all these little hints and Easter eggs in. I mean, you got the Reebok shoes from the characters at the beginning. You just got little things like a bar sign on the which is
they had the gun from like Aliens. Well, it kind of was like the gun. It was like a self shooter, which I thought was kind of a cool idea, because like not everybody's gonna be trained how to shoot a gun. So like they put a thing in there so it made it make more sense. And this girl just is an awesome shot with a gun. I thought that was actually really, brilliant, actually. Because
to be able to catch up for this movie, me and my wife we watched Alien. We went back and watched Alien. Then we watched Prometheus and Covenant.
Yeah.
And that was enough for us to be able to watch this. And now we're going to go back and watch Aliens again, which I've seen. My wife, I don't know if she's seen it. My wife's not big into science fiction. So she's all for people I've heard really hate on Prometheus and Covenant. And I didn't think they were bad movies. So I thought this one did okay.
Right.
Kind of taking some of those stories about the engineers
Yep.
and the xenomorphs and kind of bringing bringing them
the
all
black
together.
goo is in this movie from Prometheus and Alien Covenant, and they actually use it. A girl injects it into her to try to save herself, to heal her or whatever. We didn't mention a big part. Andy actually gets like a new disc chip in him or whatever, and he gets updated because that's what was wrong with him. He was an old model and he wasn't.
The biggest act 2 is the android.
Right. His name's Brock. He's the same model as Ash, but he's not Ash. But he looks like Ash.
I thought his name was Rook, but so
is it Rook?
I thought it was Rook, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is Brock.
No,
but yeah,
maybe it is.
And that's very controversial too. I've heard some other people say that's controversial because the actor has passed away, but his family did give them the rights to go back and use him, and there's some CGI there on his face. It's a little sketchy, but I was fine with me though.
Right, me too. And I thought it was cool to see that character have another go in a movie. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the same droid, but they are all about the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, and they're doing everything in their power because they want to save this black goo. That is like their total mission. They don't care about the huggers because they know they can create that stuff out of this black goo. So that's what they don't care about, the aliens or nothing like that. They just care about this black goo. And that's what Andy, like, it's funny because Andy's a good guy. And then when he gets an upgrade, he kind of turns into a bad guy, really. And all he is worried about this black goo. But he's also helping his friends still. Also, one stupid part of the movie is when that guy answers that phone thing when he's trying to be quiet. Like, that was dumb, I thought, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it didn't ruin the movie for me. I saw somebody say that was one of the things that ruined the movie for him. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, there's an android. The whole android with is, he was being programmed from her father,
right,
to kind of protect or look after Rain,
right.
And even when he got some bad news that they were going to eventually do away with him when they went to this new planet, he was still okay with it. He's like, I'm fine with it. That's, my goal is whatever's best for Rain, and he's there to protect her.
That was kind of heartfelt, really, and that was they had a couple things that kind of tugged at your heartstrings in this movie. I felt like, Mike.
So, what did you think about the pace of the movie, Josh? Did you think
it was fine? I didn't get bored at all. I mean, I've watched several movies this year where I got bored. In A Violent Nature, I'm looking at you, but like, yeah. So I thought this was actually good pacing. I think you said you thought it was real slow in the beginning. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean,
not real slow. It just took a while to get.
Oh, well, you need some build up, which I thought they did. They were explaining things. So I want to talk about the thing that some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. I loved all the alien stuff, all the interaction with the xenomorph. Awesome. The part where they're in that shaft, dude, and they're like, the aliens are there, and then when Andy jumps on that one and just shooting it all the way down, and who cares that he said the line that Ripley said? That part was sweet, and I thought that was the end of the movie, but actually it wasn't. This girl she was pregnant, and she injected herself with this goo. She ends up having a baby. Well, it's not a normal baby. It's actually a mixture. What's born is a mixture of a xenomorph and an engineer. And this thing looks trippy to me, man. I mean, I thought it looked cool. I thought some people had some issues with it. I thought it looked really cool, and it was just creepy looking, man. So yeah, I think that was controversial, but I liked it. I thought it was cool with the story, especially if like, Mike, if you wouldn't have watched Prometheus, you wouldn't known. You'd have been like, you would have thought it was like a humanoid.
Yeah, I'm glad you told me about that because I would have. But as soon as I saw it come out, and it had these really long legs, kind of like the xenomorph, and then the upper body of it kind of had really elongated arms and head and neck, but it definitely looked like the engineer. So
Yeah.
some people didn't like that. Some people
Yep.
thought it kind of stole a little bit back from Resurrection at the very end of it. But
Yeah.
I thought I would personally like to get a NECA figure that looked like that because I thought it was really cool looking.
And I thought it didn't take away from the movie at all. I thought it was I thought the movie was over. I didn't think that was happening. So when that part happened, I was like, holy crap. And I was really impressed with it. I liked it a lot. And I mean, obviously, you do have a final girl, and that's Rain. Mm-hmm. And Andy's still alive too.
Yeah. Do you think there'll be a sequel to the prequel of Aliens? Do you think there'll be another one here between that and Aliens?
I mean, she left a log, and yeah. So wait, did Andy survive the end? I can't remember.
Yeah, she put him in. Remember, she put him in the chamber.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, he is. They're. So we'll see what happens. They're just floating around outer space now. So yeah, I mean, we don't know what could happen. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see. I think there's a lot of time between Romulus and Aliens, Mike. There's years upon years between that, so they could do something. I'd be interested to see it. Yeah, I think this movie's going to be a success, and I think they're going to be wanting another one, no doubt. I think they will. I actually just read today that Fede Alvarez actually said he would love to be involved in a Alien versus Predator movie with the guy that directed Prey.
Oh,
yep.
So I've never seen any of the Alien and Predator movies. I've been told they're good, and I've heard some people say they're awful.
Well,
man, don't watch them.
The first one's PG-13, and it's a lot of fun. It's not, you don't go in there taking it seriously or anything like that. It's a lot of fun. Alien Requiem is a movie that I think is okay, but it's really dark and it's hard to see stuff. It's like, I don't know what they did, but yeah, it's really hard to see stuff for whatever reason. But for me, there's stuff to like in it, but it's not great. But the first one is fun. Honestly, it's a fun movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anything else in final you'd like to say, Josh?
I mean, I'm just trying to think of some more spoilers. I don't know. I think that's it. I think, yeah, I mean,
there's just a lot of callbacks in this movie. I mean, really it's before a callback, but callbacks for movies that's already happened. I think, Fede Alvarez, I think he did a great job on this. The last several movies he's done have been pretty good, other than Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which kind of stunk. But other than that, he's great. I mean, Evil Dead.
Oh, his Evil Dead is excellent.
Mike. Yes, I mean he's
that's underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, and then is it Don't Breathe or one of those, or I can't remember what he did something like that as well.
Yep.
But he's a great director, so I can see definitely a future of this if he wants to do another one.
No
this
doubt.
will probably be it's probably in my top 5. I don't know if it'll be maybe a top 3. I don't know. For me, we'll find out what the rest of this year ends up.
Yep.
Josh, any spoilers you want to give us in your rankings of Aliens with how this one falls?
Yeah. So I would say for me, I mean, I hope we end up doing me and you do a ranking video because you're going back and watching them all.
Don't say anything then, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to save that. This is kind of a like a prequel to our ranking or tier list of the Alien movies.
Yep.
All right, Josh, you have a good one. Hey, please like, comment, subscribe to Real Dead. It's coming up to the horror season, August, September, October, November, December. It's all year round, but a lot of Spirit Halloween stuff going to come out here in the next future, movie reviews. We got a horror convention we're going to next weekend. So,
hey, and next month there's a Friday the 13th, Mike.
It must be a live happening that night. A tier list live.
No doubt.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Josh, you have a good one, man.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.